Take it to trial. Take it to trial. Welcome in, grab a seat, hit the like and subscribe. The Sweet Peas on the mic with that spicy little vibe. Got the courtroom streaming in the chat, going wild. We're debating heavy topics, but still laughing like a child. From objections to confessions to the judge's side eye. If it's justice and it's messy, we gon' talk about why. Every day's a new case, every moment's a ride. And when Sweet Peas in the building, we be learning what pride does. My eyes on deck, keep the room running smooth. Film freak therapist, you know, keeping everyone in the groove. Right to with the facts, pretty brown girl with the sass. Morelia and Fowler keep the peace in the chat. But Jason walks in and the ladies collapse. Chocolate, take it to trial, where the truth gets loud and the laughs run wild. Sweet Peas got the spice, she's the queen of the aisle. Chat fam rolling deep, we've been here a while. Lights on, mics up, we gon' do this right. Take it to trial, every day, every night. Take it to trial, trial, trial. Morning shows are sharp, afternoon is on fire. And we catch every moment that the court might inspire. From witnesses whispering, the lawyers trying to hard. You know Sweet Pea breaks it down like a legal tarot card. Chats cracking jokes, dropping theories on the fly. We're serious when it counts, but we still testify. Minds hold it down when the trolls try to play. If you write a line, court adjourned for the day. But when Jason logs in with that deep hello sound, the ladies in the chat, man, they all fall down. Take it, 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 take it to trial, where the truth gets loud and the laughs run wild. Sweet Peas got the spice, she's the queen of the aisle. Chat fam rolling deep, we've been here a while. Lights on, mics up, we gon' do this right. Take it to trial, every day, every night. Take it to trial, trial, trial. When the sun goes down and the cases get deep, after dark gets spicy, no secrets to keep. Taboo topics, big laugh, slap, happy crew. Sweet Pea says behave, but we never really do. It's opinions, confessions, stories untold, but we handle it with heart like the chat made a goal. Hey! Take it to trial, from day to night and every wild mile. Sweet Peas nearly strong with her trademark style, and the fam in the chat always makes it worthwhile. Turn it up, show some love, hit the like on sight. Take it to trial, yeah, we live tonight. Take it to trial, yeah, we live tonight. Take it to trial.
Good morning, everyone. What a nice wake. I think that's perfect the way that comes in. It's awesome. The way that works. Good morning, Marilda. Hey, therapist. Good morning, Jason. Hello to my happy lurkers. Hello. Okay, so just so everybody understand kind of what we doing today, because you know our stuff is fluid and things do change, right? So my plan was we were going to do all day 4 of our Holly Bobo trial. But we have a hearing that's going to be in the Sandra case today. So I do want to cover that. I'm not sure how long that case is going to be, how long that hearing is going to be. Everybody's requesting a new trial. Anybody that's been got convicted is requesting a new trial. Now, they're saying for her that there may be some good reasons why she deserves a new trial. So we'll see when we go in there today. And if you guys don't know who she is, she's a mom. Well, I don't know if you want to call her a mom or what the hell you want to call her at this point in time. But Sandra Vander Ark, she was convicted in 2023, I believe, or of unaliving, redrumming her 15-year-old son. So she's back in court today and she's fighting for a new trial. She's claiming that her previous attorney made decisions without her consent, different legal concessions. And the judge said that there may be some legitimate stuff to her issues. So we're going to go in there and we're going to watch that hearing today. So kind of like with our current hearing that we're in, you know, the post-conviction of our guy Zach, it's kind of this kind of hearing. Should she get a new trial or should she not? So that's what we're gonna go in there and we're gonna watch that today. Also, we do have Samantha Krabby Patty. She is being sentenced today, so we'll swing in there and see that sentencing. We'll try to get through the first 2 hours of the first half, because I believe they have his section broken down in 4 different parts. So we'll listen to the first part as much as we can until the actual hearing for the motions hearing for Sandra happens. Once that hearing happens, we'll close this room down. We'll go in there and then we'll do a part 2 to our Holly Bobo. Okay. Just so we can try to get through everything. So just so y'all can have some type of idea of what we are trying to do today. And we'll just take it as it comes, right? That's always a good thing. So let's see here. Okay, so we have that. Okay, and I think I did everything I was supposed to do in that first 3 minutes. Remember, I said I'm gonna play our theme song and then I'm gonna try to go into the first 3 minutes of everything that I'm supposed to do. What'd you say? You would never complain. I was like, yeah, I guess we're gonna have to get up early. I had to push it back to like 5:15 because I was like, shoot, now wait a minute, I gotta get me some coffee. I don't think the coffee spot don't open up until 5. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go over here. I actually got it before 5. I was able to go to a different one. So remember, throughout this process, if y'all want me to play anything on 1.5, I am more than happy to start playing it on 1.5. I will see how many more days of testimony we have. Good morning, Baca. I'll see how many more days of testimony we have because, as I stated, I do want to try to get through 2 of these trials. And I did see something. I know Lynn had mentioned it in regards to the Thanksgiving redrum trial. But it seems like they did the trial, they convicted him, but I guess now Court TV wants to air it. I guess they trying to air it on Thanksgiving Eve. I'm looking into that to see how that one is done. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I don't know what they're doing of it. I don't know what they're doing with it. It's like they didn't want to show it until Thanksgiving Eve. So I don't know. I will see. I will see and check on that to see if that's something else we need to put in our schedule or not. All right. Well, without further ado, let me see those ones in the SweetPGang get the chat, and then we're going to get in here and see what we got for day 4 of our Holly Bobo case. Interesting is what I can say. Woo, woo. Let's see. I think I did everything I was supposed to do. I'm trying to get. I need to give you a checklist. I'm gonna put a checklist on my desk.
See,
We are, Your Honor.
you, purposes of the record, you'd asked for some additional time to transfer some requested information to defense counsel that you thought would expedite. You've now advised that you might change your order of proof.
We are going to change our order of proof. I haven't seen it, but I think the evidence has been located, but the person handling that witness hasn't gone through it, so we're going to call a different witness.
All right, call your next witness, please.
Jason Autry.
Oh, yeah, might be good to get a jury. Hold on.
I was like, you're just asking me, I'll tell you, but.
Let's bring our jury in, please.
I've got all kinds of stuff in the, we don't have a place here to keep things, so we're having big tubs. that we're carrying stuff back and forth.
How long do you need to get your stuff?
Probably an hour to go in there and get it all sorted.
Take the jury back upstairs, tell them we've, gonna need additional time. Where's your material? Hotel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to recess pronto, okay? Pronto.
10:20.
Yes. Let's round it off, 10:30.
See, this is half a problem. And I'm glad that we get to see these little things and these nuances with this case. So they call it a very, very, very important witness, right? Mr. Autry. Clearly, the prosecution team did not let the defense know. So she like, I don't have none of my material. Judge like, well, where your stuff at? She like, back at the telly. Like, what do you mean? So this is just a problem with this happening like this. Could you imagine watching this trial live and the judge like, well, okay, we'll just come back at 10:30. But you know, this could be eliminated if he required the prosecution team to provide the defense team with the witnesses for the next day. Like, they are living in a hotel, they're working out of a hotel. The judge is very aware of this. So, and they have all this paperwork. Remember, they testify in the post-conviction hearing, boxes and boxes of boxes of evidence. Yeah. So for them to be back here now 7 years later talking about, oh, she was doing a great job, she was doing this, but she probably did her job way, way better if certain small details and certain small things that the judge would have required. That's why I think, you know, if anybody has anybody to blame in regards to if this trial goes for a retrial, no, everybody should be blaming this judge. First of all, he did not run this courtroom properly. So, unfortunately for the Bobo family, for anybody that was involved in regards to seeking justice for Holly Bobo, this judge caused this. Because if he would have ran this courtroom efficiently and appropriately, we wouldn't have anything to come back for on appeal or any type of retrial to be had. They may have asked for one. I really think that they're going to give him a retrial. And it's unfortunate because the family is going to once again have to sit through this stuff if they want justice, unless the prosecution team decide, hey, we're not even going to retrial you. We just want to do a plea deal. Maybe they'll do that. But you guys remember, I don't even know if you want to call this circumstantial evidence, because I really haven't seen any circumstantial evidence. What I've been seeing is that there's an outlaw law in the city and they trying to convict somebody of unaliving Holly Bobo. So anybody that would have told that Zach did it or told that another person did it, they were going after them full force. Like, it doesn't even really seem like a lot of investigation took place. Now, this is the star witness here. Here we go, where they haven't said anything. So let's see. I'm going to take us back into court.
Give you an hour and 8 minutes. But for the court, please.
Jason Autry, Jasonautry.
Proceed.
Mr. Autry, you came in wearing what appears to be a prison garb. Where are you currently housed or staying?
I stayed last night in Henderson County Jail.
And you are charged in the case that is on trial this week?
Correct.
You're charged with murder, kidnapping, rape?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to ask you some questions about your background first, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you grow up?
Parsons, Tennessee.
And how long, did you live there your whole life, or did you move around that area?
I spent probably 16, 17 years in that area. And and then I moved into the city. So the Parsons in the city part. I was raised in the country.
And how old are you?
Ma'am,
How old are you?
44. Fixing to be 40.
Do you have family in that area?
You say fixing to be 44.
Yes, sir. October.
Do you have family in that area?
Yes, ma'am. I have a father in there at 1333 Bear Creek Road.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I can't quite hear what he's saying.
You got Mr. Harper, you got a hot mic there, so you can speak into that a little more directly or speak up.
Okay,
Where you want it? Is that good?
right there. Sorry.
You're all right.
Yeah, they couldn't hear your answer. You have a mother that lives there in the area?
I have a father at 1333 Bear Creek Road.
Is it fair to say that you've been in trouble with the law on,
Multiple times, numerous times.
have you served time in prison?
I've been to prison 4 times.
Okay. And what are the 4 times for?
Theft and drugs.
And now this.
This will be the 4th time here with kidnapping, rape, and murder.
All right. So prior to this case, drugs and theft
Correct.
on more than one occasion.
More than one occasion.
You know a guy by the name of Zach Adams?
Yes, ma'am.
You see him in the courtroom.
Right there, sitting beside
For the
counsel,
record, the defendant.
defendant.
How long have you known Zach Adams?
Approximately 15 years, maybe.
Do you know other family members of his?
I know his brother. I knew his father.
His father's deceased?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What kind of relationship did you have with his father?
A drug deal, with a drug connection.
You said you knew his brother. Who's his brother?
Dylan,
And who's older, Zach or Dylan?
Zach,
And between Zach and Dylan, who were you closer to, or who did you have the most dealings with?
Zach.
You know an individual by the name of Shane Austin.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know Shane Austin?
I'm first cousins with him.
So you know where he lived.
30 Yellow Springs.
Was that a house or a trailer?
Trailer.
And before he got that trailer, do you know where he lived? Like where his parents lived?
Yes, his parents lived at 790 P Road.
And is that very close to where the trailer was?
Within a couple miles. Approximately a mile and a half, maybe.
I want to draw your attention back to 2011. Did you have a job in 2011, the beginning part?
Yes, ma'am.
Who did you work for?
Michael Douglas.
And what did you do for Michael Douglas?
I worked on a cattle farm. I was feeding, upkeeping, just general labor.
Okay.
Also, I was working with Marvin Taylor Construction.
All right. So you had 2 sort of jobs when they needed you.
Neither one of them was government jobs. They just paid general labor. There were no tax jobs. They were just general labor jobs.
Were there periods of time in the first half of 2011 where you didn't have work from either one of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have your own place to live at the beginning part of 2011?
I lived at 310 Benco Hills Road with Angela Smith Scott.
And where did Angela Smith Scott actually, you gave us an address, but where is that?
That's in Benton County, Tennessee.
Benton County is next to what county?
Decatur. It's north. It's actually north of Decatur County on 641.
And Parsons is in Decatur County?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was Angela, what was Angela to you? Girlfriend, relative, what?
Girlfriend.
Do you remember, I'm not asking for dates, but do you remember approximately how long you lived with Angela Scott?
It started in 2010 and extended over into 2011.
And did you all have a sort of a routine about working and what time you get home and what time she'd get home and that kind of thing?
We did.
And will you explain to the jury, please, what your normal routine was with Angela? Both if you were working and if on a particular day you weren't working.
All right. Me and Angela was in the middle of maybe a decline. The relationship was declining. And I was having to hide my vehicle to keep her from getting in trouble with the children. She had some children by two other men. And my past was causing them to create trouble. And once she was arraigned in court, I had to hide my car at the Quick Mart. And when I wasn't working, she would be there at 3:30 when she got off, 3:30, 3:45, the general time, to pick me up. We would leave my car there. We'd go on to her house, do our thing. Next morning, she'd drop me off. If I was working and it was past what time she got off, well, I would just call her and set up a time to be there at that time. If it was 4:35 or 6, just whatever time the convenience was.
All right, so this Quick Mart was how far away from Angela's house? Doesn't have to be.
I want to say a mile. You could light a cigarette in the driveway and be there before you throwed it out the window.
Okay.
I mean, it was quick.
You said Angela had a job, so where did she work?
She worked at Carhartt
Okay.
in Benton County.
And she went to work Monday through Friday every day?
Correct.
Okay. And you worked some, if either one of those men have either worked with the cattle or construction work, then you worked?
Yeah, and if, correct. I never stayed there through a day. I didn't want to be stranded through a day. So if I wasn't working, I had her to take me onto the car where I could enjoy my day, away from the home.
All right. Now, I've asked you some questions about your background. I'm fixing to turn topics to why we're actually here today. Are you represented by counsel in this case that you're indicted for?
2 attorneys.
Are they here today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and who are they? Who's this?
Michael Scholl and Robert Parrish,
Where is it? Over here
behind the defense counsel,
and right here.
and right there.
And those 2 men have been your lawyers for a year or two? 2 years now?
Yes, ma'am.
And before Mr. Parris and Mr. Scholl became your lawyers in this case that you're indicted for, you had other lawyers, right?
Correct.
And those lawyers no longer practice law.
That's correct. Yeah.
Either one of them.
Neither one of them. No.
But both also their license.
Both of them lost their license. Yeah. Run off with the money and all that.
All right. What are your expectations? Because the jury needs to hear this. What are your expectations? You know what I mean by that? For testifying here today. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm hoping for leniency.
What have I told you that you must do today?
Nothing that I recall.
And I'm speaking of telling the truth or telling a lie.
Telling the truth.
How many times do you think I've told you that?
Multiple.
And I've met with you 4 or 5 times?
That's correct.
What about Mr. Hagerman? He told you the same thing?
Every time.
And this is the only time I'm going to ask you what your lawyers have told you. Have both Mr. Scholl and Robert Parris told
I
you?
object to any hearsay coming in. I was not objecting to a little bit of it, but I object to that.
It's not offered for the truth, it's offered for his expectations. All right?
They have always said tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Is that what you're going to do today?
I'm here to testify to the truth.
So despite your background, which has admittedly been bad, right?
Correct?
Are you going to tell these 15 people the truth?
Yes, I am.
Then I want to draw your attention to April the 13th, 2011, and ask if you remember that day.
I do.
Actually, I'm going to back up to the night before, April the 12th, 2013. Do you remember the night before?
I do.
Where did you spend the night of April the 12th?
310 Benco Hills.
And whose house was that?
Angela Smith Scott.
Were you working at that time?
I was not.
Do you remember what time you got up on the morning of April 13th?
She had to be at work at 7, so approximately 6:30.
What'd you guys do when you got up?
We got up and drank coffee. She took a shower, got ready for work. We'd get in her Ford Expedition, and she would carry me to the silver PT Cruiser. Then she would go on to work.
So the PT Cruiser was the car that you were.
Is this the day before,
Yes, sir.
on the 12th?
No, he's.
This is, we come to the 13th, you just asked him where he was the day
The night-
before.
the night-
Now we're following up with the morning.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
This is the morning of the 13th. So this PT Cruiser, that's the car you were driving at the time?
Correct.
In that time frame?
Correct.
In that moment? And that's the car that you were hiding, if you want to call it that, at the Quick Mart?
That's correct.
Okay. You just didn't want it parked in front of her house?
That's correct.
Okay. So after she dropped you off at the PT Cruiser, what did you do?
I got in the PT Cruiser and went to Camden Bottom.
What's Camden Bottom?
It's a large refuge.
Why'd you go there?
I wanted to kill some time. I wanted to look at the wildlife, view the ducks and the deer. I'm a country boy. I enjoy the sights and sceneries.
Okay, but why, and for somebody who's has your history, that sounds a little odd. You wanted to go look at ducks and deer. Is that a place you've been to multiple occasions or not?
I fish there regular.
But it's fine to look at scenery. Were you actually trying to kill time before you could really do what you wanted to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Which was what?
I wanted to make a phone call and establish a connection on morphine.
Okay. So that brings us to drugs again. Were you using and addicted to morphine?
Yes, ma'am.
How, any other drugs?
Methamphetamine,
All right. So how,
hydrocodone,
I'm sorry?
morphine, hydrocodone, and methamphetamine.
You used all of them.
Yes, ma'am.
So you said you needed to waste time, kill time until you could make a connection. Who did you start calling?
I started a volley of exchanges to Shane Austin and Mr. Adams.
Okay, you said I started a volley of exchanges. Just listen to me. Did somebody answer you when you started making these calls?
No, not
So by volley, do you mean you were calling both?
correct.
Did you really care which one you made contact with?
No,
You just wanted to make contact with one of them
correct.
in order to do what?
To get appeal.
And did you have, I guess, a particular drug or a particular
I did.
process that you wanted to do that one?
I did.
Explain it to the jury.
I enjoyed my DOC maybe was a cocktail of morphine and meth together.
So did you have one of those and didn't have the other?
I had the meth.
So you started making phone calls to Shane Austin and to,
Zach Adams.
all right. At any point in the morning, did you make contact with one of them?
I did.
And did you, which one?
Mr. Adams.
And did he call you or did you call him?
He called me back.
Right.
and said that he was busy, that when they got to a location, that he would call me.
Other than telling you he was busy and when he got to a location, he would call you, did you ask him any details about what he meant?
I did not.
Do you have any idea of what time in the morning this was?
It was after 8. Probably 8:40, 8:50 maybe. Somewhere in that time frame.
Well, earlier you said you wanted to kill time until you could make a phone call.
That's correct.
So how late were you wanting to wait before you started calling them?
I made the first phone call. At the river, you can't get a signal. It's pretty tough to get a signal there. It's real low. And then when I come out of the river, I made the first phone call at approximately 8 o'clock beside Palmer's Tool and Die.
So from 8 o'clock until you actually made contact, sometime within the hour, you had called both of them more than once,
Correct.
hadn't gotten a response, and then he finally called you back.
That's correct.
So what did you do after he told you, when I get to the location, I'm busy? When I get to
the location, we'll contact you.
Okay.
I went that general way. I knew that I headed in that direction.
Okay, and I'm sorry, nobody here but you knows in what direction you're talking about. I went in that direction.
Well, I left Beaton County, headed toward Decatur County, down Birdsong Road.
And why the Birdsong Road area?
It was the easiest access from where I was to get there. Plus, it would be a delay. I mean, it was just the easiest access to get there from where I was, other than going down the main road.
And did you talk to him again?
I did,
Who?
Mr. Adams.
He called you or did you call him?
I believe he called me.
What did he say?
He said, we're at Cousins.
What did that mean?
That means that they were at 30 Yellow Springs Road, Shane Austin's house.
Your cousin.
He called him Cuz too.
But that's your cousin.
Correct.
So did you go there?
I did.
How far away were you? How long did it take you to get there?
Probably 20 to 30 minutes.
Did he just say that we are at Cousins, or did he ask you for something? Or indicate that he wanted you to come there for some reason?
When he called me back, he said, I need to see you. I need your help.
And then told you, is that the first time or the second time? You said you
The
talked-
second time. I talked to him first. They were busy. The second time, he told me where he was at and he needed my assistance.
And when he said, I need your help, what did you think he meant at that point? What did you think the problem was?
I thought a batch of meth was locked up,
Meaning something in the cooking process was.
meaning
going
it
right?
had gained moisture and stopped making.
Okay. And so, was that fine with you to go help him with a batch of meth?
I was under that assumption, and it was
Okay. So you headed to Yellow Springs Road?
30 Yellow Springs Road.
Will you, if you're standing on Yellow Springs Road, can you describe for the jury, I guess, the way Shane Austin's house trailer sat? In other words, was the driveway down? Could you see the trailer from the street?
From Yellow Springs Road, say this is Yellow Springs Road. There's a fence, a gate, downhill into a wooded area of pines. The trailer sits approximately 50 yards from the road, 40 yards from the road, somewhere in that, on the left-hand side.
I want you to start at the moment that you pulled into his driveway and tell the jury what happened.
I pulled into the driveway and I got out. The first thing I noticed was a burn barrel that was burning. The second thing was Dylan was standing in the doorway with his shirt off. Shane was walking around saying, y'all need to hurry up and get the goddamn hell out of here. And hosted on the side was a fire.
I'm sorry.
Can you repeat, please, your last statement?
Can you say it again, Holster? She couldn't hear.
Yeah. When I pulled in, there was a large fire burning in a burn barrel. Dylan Adams was standing at the door of the trailer.
I'm just moving it so you can talk.
Dylan Adams was standing at the door of the trailer with his shirt off. Shane was walking around in the yard hollering, y'all need to hurry up and get the goddamn hell out of here, with a firearm holstered on the right side. Zach was standing at the door of a white 4x4 Nissan Frontier. I instantly got to Mr. Austin and bought a pill, bought a morphine, 100 milligram, walked directly back to the PT Cruiser, broke it in half, cooked it down, and shot it. A few minutes later, I got out and walked back to the 4x4 Nissan where Zach was standing at the door, and he said, I need you to help me bury this body. And I told him, I said, yeah, damn, I hate that y'all killed little JoJo. And he said, Jason, he said, Train. He didn't say Jason, my nickname was Train. He said, Train, that's Holly Bobo.
Who's JoJo? Why do you think it was JoJo?
Some days before that, Joe owed some money for some pills. Him and Zach was enemies. They was talking about killing him for the drug debt.
Was there also another relationship between, or another connection between Joe and Zach?
Shane.
Was there a woman connection between Joe and Zach that you know of?
There's a child. Both of them have a child with the same woman.
So you knew there was bad blood about a drug deal. You knew there was bad blood about.
There was some stuff that happened. One child got abused, maybe.
When you said that's not JoJo, that's Holly Bobo, what'd you do?
I was clueless. I didn't know Holly Bobo.
You've since come to know who she was, or is.
Well, pictures, TVs, pictures, and stuff like that.
So, let's be honest, did you really care one way or another about the body that was in the back of the truck?
I did not.
Describe for the jury where the body was and what you did after that.
The body was laying in a multicolored farm style blanket. It looked like multiple colors. Wrapped in the blanket, laying up against the back. So the truck is sitting here, it's laying against the back. Instead of laying long ways, it's laying this way.
From the moment you figured out that he wanted help with Holly versus help with the batch of meth, were you willing?
Yes, I was.
Tell the jury what happened, what you said, what he said.
He asked me would I help him bury the body. And I said, yeah. I said, I will. And he said, but I said, I want to leave my car somewhere else besides here. I said, I don't want Shane or Dylan to know that I got involved in this. So I told him, I said, meet me at Yellow Springs Church. I'll park the PT Cruiser in there and I'll get in the truck with you.
All right. And so while you were having this conversation with Zach, where was Dylan?
Dylan never came out of the trailer.
Where was Shane?
Continuing putting stuff into the burn barrel.
you say putting stuff into the burn barrel, could you see what he was putting into the burn barrel?
The smell was an appearance of camp fuel and meth. It was a large blaze. The area was tight, and you could smell the smell of a meth lab burning.
Okay, I understand what you could smell, but could you see what he was putting in?
I could not say, I never made it that far down. I never made it past the door of that 4x4 front,
The door, I didn't hear door what?
I never made it past the truck door.
You said earlier that Shane was saying y'all got to hurry up and get out of here. Did he say why?
He had a satellite. He said there was a guy coming to install a satellite and he didn't know what time he'd be there.
So you had him saying, satellite guy, cable guy, whatever's coming and throwing things in the burn barrel. You had Dylan first at the door with no shirt on and then never came out, correct?
That's correct.
This conversation took place between you and Zachary Adams there between his truck and your cruiser.
That's correct.
So what happened?
I got in the PT Cruiser. I backed out, went to Yellow Springs Church, pulled in. When I walked out to the road, he was backing out of 30 Yellow Springs Road. He picked me up. I got in the truck. And we go towards 641 down Pew Road.
Right, Mr. Autry, you've now gotten into the truck with the guy who says that Holly Bobo is dead and wrapped up in the truck bed. So tell the jury what you guys talked about.
As we got going down the road, I brought it to his attention that there were no shovels or pickaxes in the truck. How are we going to bury a body with no shovels or pickaxes? He looks at me and like he's lost. And I said, I don't know of nowhere a man can just pull up and get a shovels and pickaxes with a dead body in the vehicle.
All right, keep talking.
Continue on.
Yes.
We go across.
Now, before you continue on, you say there's nothing to.
There's nothing to dig
So what's an alternative suggested?
by me. I told him that some years back that I had been underneath Interstate 40 bridge and there was a body floating. And I told him, I said, the only thing holding the body up was the intestines. Yes. And we set a course that direction.
Why did you mention a body floating? What did you talk about specifically? What was your plan of disposing of Holly's body?
It was to gut her, put her in the deep end of the slough. I told him, I said, you put her in the deep end of that slough, turtles, and she had to eat it up just like that.
Turtles and what?
Turtles, animals of opportunity.
So did you all,
The only thing holding the other body up was the gases and the guts. I mean, it was floating, just like I'm from the river. You see a dead fish, the only thing holding it up is the gases and the intestines. That's the same as it was. You get the guts out, down it goes.
so you had a good idea? How to-
I understand, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So where did you all go and who was driving?
Mr. Adams was driving. We went to 133, I believe we went to the 133 where the interstate bridge crosses the Tennessee River
Okay.
underneath it.
Tell the jury what happened.
We made a loop of the entire area to scope it out, to make sure no one was in the area. There's a boat ramp a mile or so from there. Also, there's a beach. And we circled the boat ramp down by the beach, turned around, come back out, not back out, but back up to the bridge, made the circle, and stopped at a pile of riprap.
What's riprap?
It's a large limestone rock, generally about this size.
And you're using your hands to,
Riprap changes.
but you're using your hands to show something larger than a dinner plate.
That's correct.
And you said you stopped beside,
We backed into a pile.
is this an area that you had been to before?
That's correct.
Is this an area, or do you know whether or not Mr. Adams had been to that area before?
I believe he had.
Well, did you tell him where to turn, or did he know where to go?
He went on his own.
Okay. And you said you
Backed up to a pile
of riprap.
of riprap. There was a pile laying underneath the bridge. The whole underneath the bridge was riprap, but there was some extra piled up to one side.
And how close to the bridge were you all? Did he back his truck up? And I should have said how close to being under the bridge. You know, like,
Well, it was something like that. I don't know footage wise. I mean, it wasn't directly under the bridge. I mean, if you're looking at the bridge this way, if you just look straight down off the bridge, it's probably 20, 30 foot off to one side. We wasn't directly under the bridge.
I'm gonna show you 3 pictures. You got your glasses?
I do.
Do you recognize what this is a picture of?
I do.
Wait a minute. What? It's not so- I got 3 pictures, different views, but I want you to look at the first one and tell me what that's a picture of.
That's a picture of the Interstate 40 bridge. The location of the pile of riprap.
What is the next one? Is this
This is the absolute spot.
right? So a closer up view. Of
That's correct.
Right. And the third one,
I guess it's just a replica of the same one you had.
except for what? Is it even closer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what can you see a trail in the third one?
To the between the riprap pile and the lake.
Your Honor, I'd ask this mark is the next.
177, 178, and 179.
Right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
So I'll ask you some questions. I'm gonna put the first one on there to just Exhibit 1.
Can I move this?
We'll have the lights down in just a minute.
Can I move this over a little bit? Twist around and see.
Yes,
It won't go, Your Honor.
you don't have enough cord? Okay.
It'll be all right. We'll get her done.
Is this 177 or 9? I can't read. 177. All right, Mr. Autry, I want you to use the laser pointer and explain to the jury what they are looking at in this photograph.
Right here is Interstate 40, east and west. Right here is the Tennessee River Bridge. Right here, this gravel road is the gravel road we entered.
I'm sorry, you said that's the gravel road you what?
We entered.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to the mic and to the. We come in this fashion here, down here, and this, down in this general location right here is where the beach is that I was telling you about. Over to this side is where the other boat ramp is. Right here, this little white dot right there is the pile of riprap.
I want to ask you, have you driven over that bridge your whole life, basically?
I have, going to and from,
If you're on that bridge traveling,
right here.
can you see, even though it looks like, can you see?
You cannot.
And I didn't finish my question. I think you knew where I was going. Can you see what's below you there, close to the riprap?
You cannot. You're lucky to see this right here.
And you're showing the water?
This would be the lake. This would be the lake.
Okay. Let me put the next one up.
I'm sorry about the inconveniences.
All right. What is this one?
This is a picture of Interstate 40, the bridge. This is the riprap. This is a trail that runs this way.
All right. And that gravel road that you showed the jury that you came in on?
Right there it is.
And in the previous picture, it just showed that it went further, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And the next one. Sort of a close-up.
That's correct.
Now, in this picture, you see the edge of the highway or the bridge. Is that right?
That's correct.
And there appears to be a barrier. In other words, where you won't go off of it
Right here.
if you're traveling?
Right here.
Okay. And is that part of what obstructs your view if you're traveling down that road?
It is that factored in with elevation.
All right. So do you see the pile of, let me ask you this, is this what it looked like then, or does it look different now in this picture?
It looks different in this picture.
All right. What is missing or what is different?
This right here was bigger and was green like that right there. Was green.
What do you mean bigger?
There was more rock there.
Okay. Show the whole area where there was rock back when.
It looked, you see how this looks tall. It was all in that fashion running out.
Okay. We can take pictures down. And get the lights back up. So when Mr. Adams backed his truck up to the pile of riprap that you just showed the jury,
That's correct.
I want you to start there, please, and tell them what happened.
We backed up to that pile of riprap, approximately the distance of this to that. We didn't back all the way against it.
When you say this, that, you just indicated the witness box to
To the jury box.
jury room.
Yes, approximately 5-6 foot room to get out. I got out of the truck with the right hand and I grabbed the upper torso of Miss Bobo. Zach come around, let the tailgate down. I brought the upper torso to the end of the tailgate where he grabbed the legs, and I set the head, the upper end, on the riprap pile.
Did you notice anything about the blanket or the truck, the bed of the truck? Did you see anything?
In the bed of the truck, there appeared to be a small amount of blood.
Can you use your hands to describe what you mean by small amount? And your,
The bed of the truck was ridged like the bed of the truck, and it looked as if it had just lightly skidded over. And the blanket at the upper end of the torso that I grabbed had a small blood spot, maybe the size of an orange.
hands up, because I don't think they can see over here.
Maybe the size of an orange.
Did you look inside the blanket?
Never,
Did you unwrap?
never.
How were you able to swing her body around and you get the top part and Zachary Adams gets the bottom part without unwrapping the blanket?
I grabbed the blanket just like you would this shirt right here. The body didn't weigh very much. I was in pretty good shape. I'm a pretty good sized guy. I grabbed the blanket just like that right there and walked to the tailgate of the truck. At that time, he grabs the legs. We set the body down with the upper torso on that pile of riprap that y'all just showed, that we just discussed.
After you put Holly's body down on the riprap, what happened?
Mr. Adams goes to the driver's side of the pickup. I'm standing over the top of him with my hand on my knees. She being right here. And at that time, I see the foot move, a movement, and a sound of distress that sound like come out of the voice, come from the blanket. At that time, I walked to the door, to the passenger side door of the pickup, and Mr. Adams was digging in a fanny pack. I told him, I said, this fucking bitch is still alive. We just stopped for a second. I walked to the front of the truck. And I told Zach, I said, she's heard my name called and heard me talking and all. At that time, he wheels around, walks back to the driver's side pickup, out of the floorboard of the pickup, he pulls a pistol, the same pistol that was holstered on Mr. Austin's side at 30 Yellow Springs Road. And I said, whoa.
Let me ask you something here. Did you say whoa because you thought you were going to save her life and stop him from doing something bad? Or did you say whoa for another reason?
I said, whoa, for another reason, to go look.
Where'd you go look?
As we showed you on them 3 pictures,
I'm going to put back exhibit 177 up there.
I said, whoa, and I run all the way across here to about this area, and looked that way to see if anything was coming.
How far could you see down there?
Maybe 250 yards. It's a long, pretty long stretch from right here to the next curve. I looked around, and when I looked back around, Mr. Adams was standing.
Let me stop. You said you looked around. Did you stay down there at the corner or did you come back?
I stayed right here working back and forth, watching.
What about looking the other way?
There was nothing coming. I looked back this way, and I told him there was nothing coming.
When did you look back the other way? The way that you came in on?
Just shortly after I noticed that I looked down here and wasn't nothing coming.
Okay. Did the lights. Hang on. All right, you can keep going.
I looked around, and I told him that there was nothing coming close as clear, something to that effect. And at that time, boom, the gun sounded. Gun went off. And it sounded like to me that it shot 3 or 4 times underneath that bridge. I had done made it back. I had done started my way back this way. And it sounded like boom, boom, boom underneath that bridge. It was just one shot, but it echoed underneath that bridge all the way down that damn river bottom. And when that gun went off, there was Martins went everywhere.
I'm sorry, didn't hear that.
Martins, bridge, birds went everywhere. Just all up under that bridge. And it just dead silence for just a second. I was still in this general location right here. And I heard a boat. Boat crank up, a boat running somewhere in either here or over here, somewhere there was a boat. Or either down the Tennessee River right here. And I took off run back over to the truck. And I told him, I said, God damn, we have been seen or heard. And at that time, Mr. Adams grabs the feet. I grabbed the same spot at the upper torso. The blood spot was probably the size of a grapefruit at that time. We load the body back into the truck in the same fashion, shut the tailgate, and tear out of there like wild Indians, just driving a racket. And I told him, I said, this is a federal refuge. There's no firearms supposed to be allowed down here. If they see us driving like this, we're going to be the suspects. So we slowed down.
Now, are those the exact words you used? Did you say it that calmly? This is a federal refuge, we will be suspects?
Of course not. I mean,
What'd you say?
word for word, probably can't, it's over 6 years ago,
Gotcha. All right, but you told him to slow down.
Let them slow down, yeah.
Before we go any further about where you went, I want to back up a little bit. When you looked and saw and said nothing's coming, you said you turned around and saw Mr. Adams over Holly?
That's correct.
Your Honor, may this defendant come over here and demonstrate
Yes.
what he saw?
Yes.
Mr. Autry, I want you to come over here. I want you to stand here, facing the jury, and show them the position of Holly's body and where Zachary Adams was standing.
This This is the rip wrap. Pile of rip wrap right there. We going. I set the body down with the upper torso inclined, like you would set, like this right here. When I was standing over here, Mr. Adams was standing at the upper torso at this fashion.
So he was
I
standing
could
up.
not see him. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty high vegetation.
Right, so you said he was standing here like this. You mean he was up on the riprap looking down on her?
That's correct, like this.
Alright. Did he have anything in his hand?
Yeah, the pistol.
Should we sit down?
When
What?
he got the pistol out of the truck, he got the pistol out of the truck before I ever went to here.
Right.
And didn't put it up over here.
So you loaded Holly back up in the white Nissan Frontier.
That's correct.
You told the jury to take off back down the road.
Back down this, come out this way right here, get back on this road right here, back on this little gravel here. We driving just erratic, just panicked, just pretty much, right?
What happens from there?
We travel back is you want this back?
Not yet.
We travel back. We set a course back. I look at my cell phone and I told him, I said, man, I need to get to hell to Benton County and meet Angela for lunch.
When I asked you about your kind of routine with her, when you weren't working, was that part of the routine?
When I wasn't working, she expected me to be at Benton County Health Department for with lunch to spend with her through her lunch period.
She had, what, half an hour or so?
She had a half an hour. She wanted me to get her something to eat and meet her there.
Well, let's be honest, is that the only reason you wanted to get away at that point? You said,
No. When I realized, keep in mind, a few minutes before that, I had just shot one hell of a load of dope. And when I realized and heard the gun go off, I come pretty much to my senses. I realized that this old boy has made some bad mistakes, some bad judgments, and his ass was in a bind. And I was looking for a way to put some distance between me and that situation.
all right, so other than telling him to slow down so you guys didn't get caught on your way out of the refuge, did you have any discussion about what had just happened or what had happened before you got to Shane's trailer that morning?
I did. Approximately, just as briefly, I mean, after the most intense part of it got gone, I asked him, how did she get here? How did you know her? And he said that Natalie Bobo was working at a strip club at North 40, prostituting for drugs and stuff like that. She had been coming down there, fucking him, and left the idea that victim Bobo was going to be in a threesome with him. Been showing him pictures of her and stuff like that. He also said that the victim had been to his house before.
He said all this from the time y'all left, headed back.
That's correct.
Did he tell you how she ended up in the truck? Because that doesn't answer that question. how'd she end up wrapped up in a blanket in Zach Adams' truck?
Days later, he did. Not that day. It was days later.
Okay, so where did you go at that point?
We went back. I went back to the PT Cruiser and got back out. Got into the PT Cruiser. Went to 641. Realized that I didn't have enough time to make it to her lunch. And I sat north of Interstate 40, texting her through her lunch period. When I pulled out, Zach was pulling back in 30 Yellow Springs Road, which was Austin's.
So he dropped you off at your PT Cruiser?
Back at the PT Cruiser, where at that time I made an attempt to go to Benton County.
You said you came around, he was pulling in, so I don't understand.
He was pulling back in at 30 Yellow Springs Road, back where Dylan and Shane was.
All right. So he dropped you off at church, and then he goes back to Shane's.
That's correct.
And what's the distance from the church to Shane's?
Less than a mile.
When is the next time that you saw or spoke to Zach Adams that day, if you did?
At approximately 2:15, I established contact again.
Okay, that's mighty big words. I established contact. Who called whom?
I called.
Okay.
I initiated the call.
All right, tell me Jerry about it.
And I asked him, was they together? Could I get another peel? And he said, yeah. That Dinsmore was over at Dottie's. Victor Dinsmore was over at Dottie's. We would run over there and get the peel. And I told him, I said, well, we're going to have to hurry up. I got to be back over here at the Quick Mart at 3:30. This was approximately 2:30 when I arrived back at 235 Adams Lane.
All right, so you called him, wanted more morphine.
That's correct.
All right. He said, okay, y'all were gonna go to Dottie's. Who's Dottie?
Dottie owns she owns a BP and Marine. Victor was working at her home, remodeling some cabinets,
All right.
I believe is what, don't take it that he was working in the home.
Okay. Was Zachary your connection to Victor Dinsmore? Is that why you?
I had two connections to Dinsmore. It was Zach and Shane.
Okay.
At that time, me and Dinsmore was not, I had never purchased nothing directly from him. And I was having to go secondhand to get the stuff.
So where did you meet back up with Zach?
235 Adams Lane,
And who lives there?
Mr. Adams,
And is there another house there at the top of the driveway, real close?
Grandpa.
And you had been over there before?
Yes, ma'am.
When you pulled up at Zach Adams' house that afternoon, you said around 2:30?
That's correct.
Who was there?
Shane, Dylan, and Zach were standing outside in front of Dylan's Silverado pickup.
Was the white Nissan Frontier there?
No,
So the car that you had been in, or the truck that you had driven with him to the bridge, it wasn't anywhere to be seen?
that's correct.
What did you see or hear?
When I pulled up, the air was just thick with animosity. You could tell that there had been some fighting and anger amongst them.
I'm gonna object without any kind of speculation, Your Honor.
You can say what he observed.
Continue on.
You may.
We got in the truck. I got on the passenger side. Austin got in the middle. Mr. Adams got on the driver's seat. There wasn't a word said for just 30, 45 seconds.
Let me stop you. You talked about two Mr. Adams. Which Mr. Adams was in the driver's seat?
Zach Dillon was in the back. It was an extended cab Chevrolet pickup.
So all three of y'all were in the front,
3 in the front, 1 in the back.
okay?
From Zach's house to Dottie's house, where we was headed, is less than 2 miles. I mean, you can be in there. It's less than 2 miles, probably 1.5 miles. I don't know exactly. We got in there and we pulled out of the driveway. Him and Shane started arguing.
Who's him?
Zach and Shane. We pulling in.
Arguing about what? Finish that thought.
Yeah. Well, Shane told him, he said, you didn't have to kill her. And Zach told him, said, you're just as damn guilty. You hit it. And Zach told him, said, you shut your fucking mouth. I'm sick of it being discussed. We're here. We pulled up. And he told him, he said, I'll whoop your goddamn ass. And they got out of the truck at Dottie's. And 1 lick was exchanged. Zach hit Shane. Dinsmore Dinsmore comes outside, and this unidentified lady and stops it. Well, Dinsmore comes out, and the fight stops. I look to my right, which is inside the carport, and there's this identified lady standing there. I didn't know who she was. They get back in the truck. Dinsmore walks up there. We purchased the pill. Dinsmore said, your wife said she spoke to you. And Zach said, I moved 4 rims in your shop to get my truck in. And he said, Jason's in a hurry. Train's in a hurry. He didn't call me Jason. He called me Train. He said, Train's in a hurry. We got to get him back over here, and I'll talk to you later.
Did Dylan ever get out of the truck?
He never got out of the vehicle.
So let's back up a little bit about what the conversation between Zachary Adams and Victor Dinsmore. Who said something about somebody's wife?
Dinsmore said that his wife had spoke to Zach.
Okay. My wife spoke to you.
Yeah, my wife said she talked to you earlier today.
Okay.
Dinsmore said, yeah, I went over and I moved four rims out of your shop and I pulled my truck in.
And who said that? Who said I moved 4 rims?
Zach said I moved 4 rims out of your shop.
Right. Watch getting the microphone because it makes a lot of buzz on you. I know you got some tight space there.
Well, I'm trying to talk in it and
I
be
know,
heard.
I know. So you went there to get a pill. Did you get a pill
I did.
directly to you or through Dinsmore to Zach?
Dinsmore walked up to the window. They paid the money and my money, and the pill just come across from one hand to the other to me. And that was kind of the gateway that day that broke the ice that led into the future of me and Dinsmore being quote unquote friends. Once I made a drug deal with him, he realized that.
I want to back up to the part where they were arguing about Holly. And I want you to use names instead of he said or him. Who said what about you didn't have to kill her? and then you're just as guilty, you hit it. It was unclear to me who said what.
Okay. Mr. Austin said, you didn't have to kill her. And he looked at him, Zach looked at him, he told him, he said, you're just as guilty. You hit it.
Are you using the word, you hit it? You hit it?
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Fucked her.
So he said, you're just as guilty as I am, you hit it.
Yeah.
And then what happened after that?
They get into the fight. They get out of the truck, go to the front of the truck. Mr. Adams. And that ends it. By the time he lands that lick, Densmore's right.
Holly's house, is that correct?
That's correct. Went straight back to 235 Adams Lane.
And when you got back to Adams Lane, was the white Nissan Frontier back there? Or was it still gone?
It was not there.
Did you hang around or did you leave when you got back?
I did not. As I testified that I had to be in another county at 3:30. And that was from where Zach lived to where I had to be. It was 35 to 40 minute drive. If you pushed it, you really had to go. So I didn't have enough meth left to supply. So I wasn't going to stay anyway. I didn't have enough to get everybody high. I just had enough for me. I was an addict. I was looking out for me.
You used a phrase a minute ago, is that opened or broke the ice. You're talking about what had happened earlier on the 13th.
With Densmore. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm saying that what you heard on the way to Dinsmore's and at Dinsmore's sort of, well, okay. So you're saying that broke the ice with Dinsmore?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I testified, the reason that I didn't go directly to Dinsmore to buy the meth to buy the morphine is because I had never purchased nothing directly from him.
So tell me, after you left the afternoon of the 13th, when is the next opportunity you had, the next time you talked to any of the three of them about what had happened on the 13th? I'm not asking for a day, unless you remembered. I'm more asking for
2 days later.
Your Honor, I'm going to object if they're going to get into 404B evidence that's not related to these charges. The other thing is, I'm going to object to hearsay as to what somebody else may have told Mr. Autry and not specifically Mr. Adams.
My question was simply, when is the next opportunity he had? I didn't ask him what anybody said.
Well, I'm just in advance, Your Honor. I'm anticipating one.
All right, be cautious, please.
So, Mr. Autry, I want you to listen to my questions very carefully, and if I don't ask you what somebody said, don't volunteer.
Gotcha.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, when is the next opportunity that you had to speak to Zach Adams, Dylan Adams, or Shane Austin?
2 days later.
That would have been Friday the 15th.
That's correct.
And on that day, which of the three of them did you talk to?
Zach,
Where were you?
I was in Benton County.
All right. And did he come to Benton County or y'all talking over the phone?
He called me and we agreed to meet behind the marathon at Interstate 40.
Marathon station at Interstate 40.
That's correct. We're 641 and Interstate 40 crisscross. There's a marathon.
And is Adams Lane right off of 641?
From there, it's a mile or so. It's close.
So my question was, is Adams Lane, does it run directly onto 641?
Yes,
So it's their driveway, they're on 641. They just have an Adams Lane.
that's correct.
Okay. Did you agree to meet?
I did.
And when you got there, who was there?
Dylan and Zach.
And did y'all just pull up in front of the store, or did you meet somewhere else?
At the marathon, there's a side road that cuts back behind it. We met in a wooded area, maybe a quarter mile from the marathon.
Is that an area that you had been to before?
That's correct.
What was back there in the thicket?
Marijuana.
Whose plants?
Mine.
Had Zach Adams been in that location with you before? Like when you said meet at the marathon?
He's never been in there with me before.
So you pulled up, he pulled up, correct?
I was there first and he pulled in behind me.
What vehicle were they in and who was driving?
They were in Dylan's Chevrolet extended cab pickup.
Your Honor, at this time, we need to approach.
Your Honor, I'd ask for a jury out hearing if there's going to be any kind of evidentiary discussion, so we can get it on the
There
record.
will be.
Okay, take the jury to the jury room, we'll send for them.
It's not, it is merely contextual to what happened in the aftermath of Holly Bobo's murder. But just in case you find it to be fall within 404B, I didn't want to start it without.
Okay,
So I think the better, I'll outline for you what I believe, and then I'd like to put on proof to Mr. Autry. Once they were parked in the parking lot of this marathon, there was a conversation between Mr. Autry and Zach Adams. A request was made by Zach Adams, and that's the testimony I'm gonna ask the witness.
okay, go
All
ahead.
right? So Mr. Autry, lean forward, make sure that Judge can hear you. When you were there first, you said that he pulled up in Dylan's extended cab, is that correct?
That's correct.
Did you get out of your car, or
I did not.
did somebody come to your car?
Zach come to my car.
Okay.
We proceeded to,
Did he get into the car?
got into the car, yeah.
Okay, he's on the passenger side, you're on the driver's side?
That's correct.
Did you have a conversation?
That's correct.
Did you tell the judge the entire conversation that you had?
Whenever whenever he got in the car, I handed him a meth pack. He took a couple of hits off of it, and I asked him, I said, what'd you ever do with the old girl? He said, we throwed her out over near Kelly Ridge. He said, that's not the main reason I'm here. He said, fucking Dylan ain't been to bed and won't stop talking about it. He said, I want to see if you'll get rid of him, kill him for me. At that time, he made an offer for me to get rid of Mr. Dylan.
Your Honor, it's the state's position that that 4B statement of Mr. Adams falls directly into the category of his motive, his intent, his plan to get away with this crime, because at that time, because Dylan Adams hadn't been to bed and wouldn't quit talking, he was afraid he, being Zach Adams, was afraid Dylan Adams was going to implicate him and that he would be caught. And I truly don't believe it's 404B. I think it truly are statements made directly after the murder took place and the kidnapping and the rape. But we do seek to offer it.
First of all, Your Honor, this is something that's happening 2 days later, so it is not directly related to statements directly after the murder, or the alleged murder of Holly Bobo. Second of all, it's irrelevant as to whether at that point the crime, the murder of Holly Bobo is completed, it is finished. What happens next is irrelevant, Your Honor. So it's not relevant to whether or not Mr. Adams was involved in shooting Holly Bobo, he shot Holly Bobo, he kidnapped her, or he raped her. So it's independent of that. Next, it's highly prejudicial because it paints Mr. Adams out to be a killer of his own brother. Somebody who, that's a second murder or second attempted murder that they're trying to pull in here. And then after that, it's just, if you give it any kind of 404 analysis, it's just highly prejudicial, and the prejudice of this outweighs the probative value of whether or not this is, probative value that it has as to whether or not Mr. Adams killed Holly Bobo. We've already heard that. The whole murder is complete. We've already heard all the murder information. And at this point, these are just additional crimes and wrongs that they're trying to bring in. It doesn't show a pattern because it doesn't show anything about the murder. The murder is completed, allegedly, if you're going to believe Mr. Autry. The murder is completed, it's final, and so now what they're trying to introduce doesn't go to show anything about the murder. And we, of course,
It's contextual. If it's true, then it's showing an attempt to cover a crime by further doing things to keep it from being undetected by other people.
But he's not charged with that crime. He's not charged with trying to cover up a murder.
It's part of the context, though. The court finds that it is particularly probative in this case, and it doesn't really go to a character trait. It goes to an attempt to keep something from being discovered, and the court finds that its probative value does outweigh the danger of unfair prejudice. So even if it's 404, which I'm not sure it is, I think it's contextual, the court finds that nevertheless it would be admissible. Okay? Clear and convincing evidence. Court finds. All right. Take lunch. Let's take till 1. Till 1, let's just round it off. Hey, Ms. Ross, you may have a seat. We're going to continue with your testimony. You proceed.
Mr. Autry, I want to back up a little bit. The place we left off before lunch. I want you to begin with Friday, 2 days after Holly Bobo was shot in front of you when you met Zach Adams at the Marathon Station, okay?
Correct.
That's where I want to pick up. And then we'll back up just a little bit about you showing up and him showing up, and then go forward from there, okay?
So that evening, I received a phone call, and he asked me to meet him at no set location, but I decided, I named the location, and we met at the Marathon at 641 and Interstate 40 in a pine thicket.
And what happened?
I got there early first. Zach and Dylan pulled in behind me in a extended cab Chevrolet pickup. Zach come to the front seat of the car, sat down. I handed him a meth pipe. I asked him a question. I said, "What'd you do with that girl?" He said, "We throwed her out near Kelly Ridge." He said, "That's not the reason I'm here today." He said, "I'm here over Dylan. Dylan hadn't been to bed. Won't stop running his damn mouth about this shit. He's gonna get us in trouble."
And when he told you that, how did you respond?
I asked him what he wanted done.
Okay? Tell the jury what was said.
He said his grandpa Dick would probably pass in a few years, and if I'd kill Dylan, that he'd give me a portion of the money and let me live in one of the houses. I did not make an agreement. I told him, I said, "It's something I need to think about, and I'm not prepared to do this today."
Did he indicate to you how he wanted it done or when he wanted it done?
He did not.
And when you said that to him, what did he say?
He told me if I decided to do that, to let him know. And I told him, I said, "When I get done with that, you'll probably be next."
Meaning what?
Meaning I was going to kill him too.
And what did he say or do after you said that to him?
He hit the pipe a few times. And I asked him, I said, "What's going on with Shane?" He said, "I hadn't seen him." And I said, "Well, I'm fixing to go visit him."
All right, let me stop just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you've heard testimony that the defendant, Zachary Adams, allegedly attempted to engage this witness to harm Dylan Adams, as well as other potential bad acts. You may not consider such things, such testimony to prove his disposition to commit the kind of crime for which he is on trial, but rather the testimony may only be considered by you for the limited purpose of determining whether it provides the complete story of the crime. That is, whether such testimony and the charged offenses are logically related or connected so that the testimony of the other tends to prove the one charged or is necessary for a complete account thereof. Okay.
Why did you make the statement that you did, Zach Adams, that you decided to do it, that he'd be next?
I felt like after I'd sat and evaluated the situation and the circumstances and the reality and the scope of the situation that fell on me, I felt like in my heart that he should have notified me and let me know before you bring me into a situation like that. Meaning the day that I called trying to set up and buy the morphine and you said you need to see me, you should have said you had a dead body there. Or I felt that in my heart. I felt that I was brought into that. And I felt it. That's what I felt.
You asked about Shane and then made the statement that you were going to go check on him. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So did you do that?
I left there, stopped at the store, Dottie's, and got 2 beers, 2 quarts of Bud Light. I proceeded to Shane's house where I ran into a roadblock at 790 Pew Road. The officer was Jeremy Inman. I pulled up. And he looked in the car and seen the alcohol, and he said, Jason, he said, there's search parties and shit all over the place down through there. He looks through the car, to the front, PT Cruiser, looks in the back, in the hatchback, and he said, you're going to need to be careful if you're going to drive through there drinking. And I left, went to Shane's house,
And that's the trailer on Yellow Springs Road.
30 Yellow Springs Road.
Is that the first time you had been back to the trailer since?
That's the first time I had been around any of them or back to Decatur County since the 13th.
Now, you're not going to be able to say what Shane said, but I want you to describe what you did when you got to his trailer and what you observed.
When I got to the trailer, he was highly inebriated. And he said that, no, I can't say.
Right. So
He was highly inebriated, and I took him away from that situation. There was,
All right, we're talking about Shane.
That's correct.
Okay, all right.
Were there search parties all in and around where his trailer was, the road in front of his trailer, the woods?
there was maybe a command post set up at Yellow Springs Church, and people just everywhere in that area.
And again, you can't say what he said, but you can describe his demeanor for the jury. Was he agitated? Was he calm? Was he concerned? How would you describe his demeanor?
Frantic.
Frantic. Okay, as a result, because you went there to check on him, right?
That's correct.
So as a result of pulling, you yourself passing the roadblock, pulling in and seeing all the search parties, you said you wanted to take him away from that situation.
I did.
So what'd you do?
I loaded him in, got him into the PT Cruiser, and left that general location. I noticed as we were going down the road, when I would turn or hit the brakes, that he would go over, nod out, and hit the dash. I was having to catch him with my hand. So I thought, I'll take him and feed him. At that time, I took him to Johnny's Bar and Grill and fed him.
During the course of your meal with him, did he at any time, or did his demeanor change? Did he calm down? Did he sober up? Did you become less concerned?
You know, we were in a bar and he was not drinking, so he naturally sobered up a little bit, but there was numerous people in the bar. And we left there and went to another bar where he did kind of sober up after he eat, but he never really come to just complete sobriety.
Again, not asking what he said, did you have a conversation with him about what had happened to Holly?
I did not.
Not that night.
Not that night.
So after taking him to eat and then to another bar, did you take him back home?
I did.
Okay.
I did, and at that time, dropped him off, went back to 310 Benco Hills to Angela's house.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the conversation that you had with Zach 2 days after Holly was killed. When is the next opportunity that you had to talk to Zach about any of this? I'm not asking for a date. I'm more asking for an event or.
I called him and I told him, I said, I've thought about that, about the offer you made. And I said, I'm looking into it, meaning Dylan. At that time, day or so after that, I loaded Dylan up in the truck with a bass boat and carried him to the Tennessee River.
Let me back up. When you called him and said you're looking into it, did you ask him anything about whether his offer was still good?
I did.
Okay, well,
Yes,
Council Tree,
Maybe we ought to identify by name rather than pronouns, okay, to make it clear.
when you called Zach Adams, did you talk to Zach Adams about the offer that he had previously made to you?
I did.
Okay, would you tell the jury the whole conversation?
It was a brief conversation. I asked him if the offer still stood. He said, yeah, when Papa passed and the land and the money transfers hands. And I said, all right, I'm thinking about going through with it. And I did set up a date to take Dylan to the river.
Okay, did you set up a day to take Dylan to the river with Zach, or did you set up a day to take Dylan to the river later on? Did you set that up with Dylan?
I surprised Dylan. I knew that he was home and his papa was at the water plant. And I showed up with a boat and a little marijuana and lured him into going.
All right, so what'd you tell him? And again,
I asked him if he wanted to go bass fishing.
and did he get in the car with you to go bass fishing?
Just, yes.
Tell the jury what happened after that.
We go to the Tennessee River, put in the boat. We run to Cub Creek. We start bass fishing up a bank. Dylan catches a little old grinnell.
Little old what?
A grinnell.
Okay.
Has me to come back there and take it off. He was scared of the teeth that it had. By that time, we had been there maybe an hour or so, drinking, smoking pot. And I was trolling down a channel, looking for a place to put him. And a little old John boat come up, pulled up beside of us pulled up beside of us and asked if we was catching anything. And he knew Dylan's grandfather. At that point, that stopped everything. We had been spotted. There was no, he positively identified him. And I bought the boat from Cherokee Boat Dock, and he knew the owner of the boat that I bought the boat from. So he did not know me, the guy didn't, but he knew the owner of the boat, and he knew Dick Adams.
So you had a conversation with him, and you realized at that point, he knows your boat, he knows Dylan, he knows Dick Adams. You've been seen.
That's correct. Yeah, been seen. So we finished the day, with a portion of the day, fishing, and he was backing out of 30 Yellow Springs Road. He picked me up.
So I'm just kind of pause, just to kind of let everybody know. Yes, we are going to watch the Sandra trial. We're not TiVoing it or anything like that. They haven't started. So I don't know. I can send, we can go over there and just kind of sit there until they actually start, but it hasn't started. So I don't want everybody to panic. It just says coming up. So if y'all want, we can close this room down and come back at some different point in time, and we can go over here into the new room. I am keeping them separate because I do not know how long her hearing is going to be. It'd be just my luck. I try to show it in this room and it comes up that it is much longer. So it's totally up to you guys if y'all want me to shut it down. I just don't know when they're going to start. I know that Court TV and Law and Crime, they had it for 7 o'clock. They typically open up their rooms about maybe 10 or 15 minutes early to get everybody in and get everybody can get settled. But I'm live in the courtroom right now and I don't see anything. So you guys let me know. Hey, Melly, how are you? And anybody else that's in the chat that I may have missed. I just didn't scroll back up. Sorry. So y'all let me know what y'all want to do, if y'all want to finish listening to this or if we want to go over to the other room. Let me get the link for the other room. I just don't know when they're going to start. And then we can pick back up over here when this one is done, if that works for you guys. You say you catching up on the TV and listen. You say you multitasking. And what you cooking this morning? Because I know you cooking something. Hey, Tanya, good morning. Good morning. So I'm putting the link for the new room in there. As I stated, they haven't started, but if y'all want to go over and hang out, that's fine. I just was gonna continue to play this until they actually started. Give me 1 second. Hi. Okay. So I got both rooms open, just so y'all know. The Sandra thing it hasn't started yet. So I opened up the room, but yeah, it hasn't started. We're live. I'm not doing any TiVo time, just on a repeat, just so you guys know. We're just kind of waiting. So if once they start, we'll be live in there. And those that were watching the Zach Adams, you're more than welcome to continue watching the Zach Adams. And as soon as the trial starts, I will let you know. All righty.
I got in the truck and we go towards 641 down P Road.
Right, Mr. Autry, you've now gotten into the truck with the guy who says that Holly Bobo is dead and wrapped up in the truck bed. So tell the jury what you guys talked about.
As we got going down the road, I brought it to his attention that there were no shovels or pickaxes in the truck. How are we going to bury a body with no shovels or pickaxes? He looks at me and like he's lost. And I said, I don't know of nowhere a man can just pull up and get a shovels and pickaxes with a dead body in the vehicle.
All right, keep talking.
Continue on.
Yes.
We go across.
Now, before you continue on, you say there's nothing to.
There's nothing to dig
So what's an alternative suggested?
by me.
All right.
I told him that some years back that I had been underneath Interstate 40 bridge and there was a body floating. And I told him, I said, the only thing holding the body up was the intestines. Yes. And we set a course that direction.
Why did you mention a body floating? What did you talk about specifically? What was your plan of disposing of Holly's body?
Mr. Gutter put her in the deep end of the slough. I told him, I said, you put her in the deep end of that slough, turtles, and she had to eat it up just like that.
Turtles and what?
Turtles, animals of opportunity.
So did you all,
The only thing holding the other body up was the gases and the guts. I mean, it was floating, just like I'm from the river. You see a dead fish, the only thing holding it up is the gases and the intestines. That's the same as it was. You get the guts out, down it goes.
so you had a good idea? How to-
I understand, yeah, yes, ma'am.
All right. So where did you all go and who was driving?
Mr. Adams was driving. We went to 133, I believe we went to the 133 where the interstate bridge crosses the Tennessee River underneath it.
Tell the jury what happened.
We made a loop of the entire area to scope it out, to make sure no one was in the area. There's a boat ramp a mile or so from there. Also, there's a beach. And we circled the boat ramp down by the beach, turned around, come back out. Not back out, but back up to the bridge, made the circle, and stopped at a pile of riprap.
What's riprap?
It's a large limestone rock, generally about this size.
And you're using your hands to,
The riprap changes.
but you're using your hands to show something larger than a dinner plate.
That's correct.
And you said you stopped beside,
We backed into a pile.
is this an area that you had been to before?
That's correct.
Is this an area, or do you know whether or not Mr. Adams had been to that area before?
I believe he had.
Well, did you tell him where to turn, or did he know where to go?
He went on his own.
Okay. And you said you backed
Up to a pile
of riprap.
of riprap. There was a pile laying underneath the bridge. The whole underneath the bridge was riprap.
Gun holstered on your cousin Shane's hip.
First, when I pulled in 30 Yellow Springs Drive.
Had you ever seen that particular gun before that day?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Why does it feel like this feed started over? Or is it just me? Because I feel like we done heard this stuff before. Let me see.
Right here.
But I want to go back to that. Tell the jury exactly what you told Zach.
I asked him. That's
Not
correct.
that he said something.
Did Zach say that all three of them raped her?
Yes.
Did he tell you how they raped her?
Not really. They didn't no fine details. I let it be known that I don't stand for that shit.
Did he tell you anything else they did to maintain control over Holly? Besides, or in order to allow them to rape her? Or
Dylan was the one that provided that.
and you can't talk about what Dylan said.
Yeah,
So you
that
didn't
he
have
was the one that provided the information on how the situation unfolded. Zach understood that I really wasn't down with it. And the conversation was very abrupt.
You've talked about today on the 13th seeing a gun holstered on your cousin Shane's hip.
First, when I pulled in 30 Yellow Springs Drive.
Had you ever seen that particular gun before that day?
Yes,
Were you present when that gun was first bought, traded, obtained?
yes.
And whose gun was it?
Before it was bought or after it was bought?
Both.
Before it was bought, it was,
Don't remember, you don't
I
remember.
don't remember his name.
Were you present when it was purchased?
I was.
And who purchased it?
Shane.
And between the time he purchased it and the next time you saw it, or, excuse me, between the time he purchased it and the 13th, had you seen it any other times?
I had not. I only seen it the day it was purchased. I had no actions of the gun other than just watching the transaction, just a brief transaction.
Shane had a lot of guns, didn't he?
That's correct.
I want to show you a gun. Put on your glasses.
That's the gun. Yeah, minus the aging.
Minus the what?
The aging.
The aging.
Okay.
So what do you mean by that? Minus the aging?
Meaning, when I seen the gun, it was in good working order. Shiny.
What
Black.
color? Black. Was the whole gun black?
Yes, ma'am.
And does that appear to be the gun that
It does.
you saw holstered on Shane?
That's correct.
Now, you indicated that when you left Shane's trailer, when you left, you pulled out, Shane had the gun on his hip.
That's correct.
When's the next time that you saw this gun?
When I got in the Nissan Frontier 4x4 laying in the driver's side floorboard,
Car driven by whom?
Mr. Adams.
And after seeing it at the floorboard, when's the next time that you saw that gun?
In his hand right before he shot her.
And after the 13th, did you ever see this gun again?
I did.
When's the next time that you saw that gun?
When me and Austin sold it to Densmore.
And when you say me and Austin, you mean Shane Austin?
I was with Shane when he traded Densmore the gun for morphine.
And that was later on that same summer.
It was approximately 4 to 5 months after the incident.
Your Honor, at this time I'm going to ask that the gun be marked as the next numbered exhibit. And
The 180, where we are.
there are some live rounds that are separate in the baggie. I'd like those to be marked for ID only.
All right, that'll be 181.
In the weeks and months that followed Holly's disappearance, But for that time, nobody knew where she was. Were you questioned by law enforcement, like actually beginning in July of the same year?
I was.
And were you questioned on more than one occasion?
I was.
2 times,
Yes, ma'am.
at least?
At least.
In addition to being questioned by law enforcement, were you questioned by Karen Bobo? Any of those interviews, either the one by the Bobos or the 2 by the Bobos or law enforcement, did you ever tell the truth about what you knew?
I did not.
Why? That's probably pretty obvious, but why?
One was self-preservation. Once, 2, I had family in it. 3, I had a relationship I was trying to save that I didn't want to get destroyed.
You lied.
Plain and simple.
And after you were actually arrested for this crime, did you continue to lie?
I did.
Did you grant interviews? Did you grant interviews to the media? And let me say, before you were represented by Mike Scholl and Robert Harris.
That's
Did you?
correct.
Who were your lawyers then?
Mr. Fletcher Long and John Herberson.
Were they aware that you were going to grant interviews to the media?
They set it up, yeah,
And you did that from the jail?
from state prison through Channel 5.
State prison, that's just where you're being held on this case, correct?
That's correct.
And you're actually doing some time right now, aren't you, on something else?
That's correct. 9, I believe it's 922G.
Did you, in addition to granting interviews, and let me just ask you, did you proclaim your innocence of all knowledge to whoever happened to watch Channel 5?
I did. I was told by Fletcher Long sent word.
Objection, Your Honor.
You can't say what Fletcher said.
Let me ask you this. Was it your goal to proclaim your innocence?
That's correct.
And did you do that constantly?
I did.
Did you write letters to various people?
I did.
What did you say in your letters?
That I did not kidnap, I did not rape, and I did not kill Miss Bobo. And I did not. But I lied and said that I didn't have no details to it.
That was my next question. Did you kidnap her?
I did not.
Did you rape her?
I did not.
Did you kill her?
I did not.
You were involved in it though, weren't you?
I was.
And that's the part you lied about.
That's correct.
Did you write letters to all sorts of people with the knowledge or not that somebody was reading your mail?
In the beginning, no, but it was determined shortly after. Meaning, after being there a month or so with correspondence with other people saying the letters had been opened, I figured it out.
And that law enforcement or jail personnel
We're scanning
had
it.
a mail cover. They were reading everything you wrote, right?
Had a subpoena on the mail, scanning it.
And so did you, with that knowledge, continue to proclaim your absolute lack of knowledge about anything?
I absolutely did.
When you got, let me just ask, you have given this jury a lot of information today. What made you go from telling the world, I didn't have anything to do with it and don't know anything about it, to the things that you have admitted today?
I told the previous attorneys the very first court date when I asked the judge for a session after court, and he allowed us to go back there. I told him that I had information on the case.
You can't say
Did you
what
what?
That I had information
Okay.
And
On
you
the
can't
case.
say, you can't say what your lawyer said, but you told them then.
That's correct.
And I don't want to go too deep into what what they said. But after giving those first lawyers the information, was anything set up between yourself or any requests made between yourself and the DAs that were assigned to the case at that time?
There was not.
When you got new lawyers, again, did the situation change?
It did.
Approximately sometime last fall, did the situation change for you?
There did. There was.
And since that time, were you driven from state prison in Nashville to a location under the bridge with your lawyers, both present,
Yes, ma'am.
with Mr. Hagerman,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ragland, Mr. Christensen, me?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you show all of us in the presence of law enforcement and TDI agents exactly what happened to Holly under the bridge on the 13th?
I did.
Your Honor, I'm gonna put something up. First of all, did I show you this map and this poster this morning?
You did.
And do you recognize the areas depicted on it?
I do.
What area is depicted on it?
Interstate 40 at the Tennessee River Bridge, the crime scene, the route there, the route out, the road in.
Your Honor, ask Steve Martin as the next numbered exhibit.
The 182.
And with the court's permission,
And I also told the parties that post-trial, I want your big sketches. I want to substitute maybe an 8x10 of them. In other words, I don't want the court to have to,
oh, after deliberation?
yes. After the case is finally completed, okay?
May Mr. Autry step down
You
again?
may,
Sort of a tight squeeze, but we'll. Oh, I'm gonna get that. Mr. Autry, do you see this map with the blue route sort of mapped out here?
I do.
Sorry, I can't.
You might need to come up there.
That's the route we took.
When you say this is a route we took, this is a route who took?
Me and Zach,
On what day?
the 13th of April.
Okay, where did you start?
30 Yellow Springs Road.
Okay, and this doesn't appear to be exactly 30 Yellow Springs, but it's in this area, correct?
That's correct.
Okay? And show them the route that you all took. Use that so you're not blocking it.
We traveled Hugh Road, Duck Farm Road.
can you step back a little further and still show it?
I can, sir.
Thank you.
We traveled Hugh Road, Duck Farm Road, Dry Branch Road, Morgan Creek Road, Warren Hill Road, to the location right here.
All right, now you are using your, keep your pointer there. You're using your pointer from where these red lines meet to the furthest right picture on the right
This
side.
right here is this location right here.
And the line goes to what?
Pile of riprap.
Show them where you back the truck in, or where Zach Adams backed the truck in.
Right here.
All right, lean back just a little. All right, show again if you can.
Right here.
Is that where you shot her?
That's correct. On that pile of riprap right there.
And these other pictures
This is the route in that we take that I showed y'all earlier.
on the little one?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's the bridge. This is where we looked down at the Sandy Bar in the Tennessee River. In fact, let's see. Right here is the actual. Right here is the actual river. Right here. Right there is the location where she was killed. Right there is the actual Tennessee River. This looks like the river right here, but that's not. That's a slough. It's on both sides. That's backwater. The actual river is right here.
Is there a place or a picture on here that you can show the jury where your intention was to gut her and put her in the water?
This location right here is the channel in this slough. The meaning channel meaning the deepest point.
And that's where you were gonna put her.
That's where he was gonna put her. But we, however you want to say it, that determining who was gonna do what was never made at that point.
Understand. But that's where you guys were headed.
That's correct.
You can be seated. Your Honor, I don't have any further questions at this time. Pass for false.
I'm assuming that you'll require some time for cross-examination.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and take a break. Take 15, follow the rules I gave you at the outset, okay? Just right there for right now.
Shirley King.
Okay, and she has some sisters that live in the area?
Hey guys, so if you can hear me over, I am for the Holly Bobo. I am going to drop our link for our we are gonna watch the Sandra Vander Ark motion for a new trial this morning, guys. I'm dropping the link in the chat. If you could just click on that link, it'll take you over to that room. We just wanted to do day 4, part 1 of Jason's testimony. As you can see right here, he's back on the stand. We will pick back up on his testimony after we finish her hearing. Okay, so I'm dropping the link in the chat. If you click on it, it will take you directly over there. You don't have to go back to the channel page or anything like that. Just click on the thing and it'll take you right over there. Okay. I will see you guys over there and we'll watch day 4, part 2 of this after we finish with the motion for Sandra Vander Ark, the mom from Michigan who was convicted of torturing and redrumming her 15-year-old son. All right, guys, see you over there.